Hi, I'm Courtney.
And I'm Brienne.
And you're listening to
Just Haunted House Things. Okay, on today's episode, we are fangirling so hard.
A
Oh my
lot.
God. Yeah, like I was in a little bit of like shock of like I don't know what to say. Like it was a where do I put my hands situation.
Yeah, like she is so legendary.
Yeah.
And just the amount of scaring that she's done over her career is incredible. Like,
you could look at her list and just be in awe of looking at her resume.
Yeah.
But like hearing her talk about it even more so, you're just like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, has been scaring for longer than Brienne and I have combined.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is insane.
Oh my gosh.
Like, to be Shar Mayer, is like insane to me because she has literally started as a home haunter and worked through all different types of haunts.
Like regular haunts, like family friendly haunts, hay rides. And then went into like extreme haunting.
Yeah.
And then online and teaching and everything like that.
Yeah. She's incredible.
Yeah.
So please listen to this episode and enjoy it because we certainly did.
Absolutely.
All right. Hi, Shar.
Hey,
So
how's it
nice
going, you
to
guys?
meet you.
Welcome.
Courtney, Brienne, nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you. Welcome to Just Haunted House Things. We're so lucky to have you here with the legendary haunt actor Shar Mayer.
Fangirl a little bit.
Just a
Thank
tiny
you.
bit.
It's great to be with you guys. You know, I love to talk to anyone in the haunt industry. I love to talk to haunters, whether they're doing their 20th year or their 5th year or their first year. It's all great to me.
Yeah.
All great.
I love hearing your stories too. You know,
Thank you.
We all have the same feelings, the stories, you know, and something that I've learned in the past, say 5 years, when I started talking to people besides the people in our area and started to talking to more people that are out in different parts of the US and internationally, is that if you're a haunter, you're a haunter.
Yeah.
And you have the same feeling no matter what you call yourself, no matter where you're performing or what kind of performance you're doing. If you're working in a haunted house or immersive show or anything, horror film, we all feel the same way.
We all feel the same. That's for
We're
sure.
just out there to get the screams.
We're there to get that reaction, baby.
Yeah. One way or another, we will get it.
Yeah.
I get it. So I had a couple of questions from some friends of mine because they wanted to get some questions in for you. So, well, first off, let's ask the first question, which is, can you tell us a little bit about your career and how you got started?
It's weird to think of it as a career because, you know, I always loved Halloween as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to the age of, wait, you're too old to be trick-or-treating, me and my friends.
Lies.
And free candy. Hello.
Yeah, right?
Still me. I still love free candy. It tastes better when it's free.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And after a year of like people turning us down, the next year my friend suggested, hey, my mom's thinking about doing something for the Boy Scouts, a haunted house. And I'm like, oh, yes, of course. Let's do that. I had no idea what I was getting into. I had gone to a lot of spook shows when I was a kid in Coney Island because my grandmother lived in Brighton Beach and we'd summer there. So those scary things always got to me. And I was always the kid in the back of the class reading my comic books and my monster magazines, you know, not typical, you know. And I always wanted to do it. I know I talked about it in Haunters, how I always wanted to dress up and be spooky and scary. So when she said that, it was like, okay, haunted house. So we did a haunted house. And it was so much fun. And then next year we did a haunted house again, but we did it for not 1 day, but for 3 days.
Oh.
And then the following year, it was 2, 4, 6, I guess 6 days, 3 weekends or something like that.
Yeah.
It was a long time ago. It's the 70s.
Wow. That's
So,
awesome.
That's so cool.
to you, but it's like somebody told me the other day, like they figured it out. I've been haunting since Nixon was president.
Oh my God.
I've been haunting since the Vietnam War. It's like, it's crazy. So then so we did that for a few years, and it wasn't called home haunting. It was just, hey, let's do this.
Right.
Yeah.
So, it didn't really have a name. It wasn't really called stuff. And then I found out that there was like a little tiny maze near where we lived. And that was the following year. And then I started working at that. And I got money. They gave me money. It wasn't minimum wage, but they gave me money to scare people. I was like, oh, this is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it just went on from there. Every October, I look around and try to find out, like, where do I want to be? What do I want to do? It's Halloween. And this is while I lived in New York. So I lived in New York up until about 22 years ago. Now I live in Southern California.
Okay.
So I was haunting on the East Coast, and then I came to the West Coast. But while I was there, the big haunt that I worked at there was the Haunted Hayride, and I did that for 3 years.
Yeah.
And that was really fun. I'll tell you a story about that too if you want to hear it.
Of course.
Always.
Oh, well, have you ever worked a hayride? Have you ever been on a farm?
I have, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I used to
So
live
you
on a
know,
farm, so yeah.
It has a very unique aroma.
Oh, yes.
So I would come home. Now, remember, my husband's not really into it. Like, he's like, cool that I go do it. And he's like, as long as you're having a good time and bring back a little money, that's cool.
Aww.
So when I worked at the Haunted Hayride, I would come home, the middle of the night, like 1 or 2, and I would reek, from the smell of haunt. Or the smell of, let's say, the smell of hay.
Yeah, let's go with that.
What?
Let's go with that. The smell of hay.
Smell of hay. So you would leave a bag on the outside of on the porch on our house, and I would take my clothes off on the porch, shove it in the bag, roll it up, run upstairs, take a shower, and laundry the next day. So it's like we figured out a way to keep my haunt smell out of the house.
Yeah.
And then I was asked to co-produce a haunt with at a mini golf course. So that was my first time I got into any kind of production thing besides just acting in it.
Yeah.
Right.
When we came, my husband got an opportunity to come to the West Coast, and he said, we're going to live here. It's going to be near Disneyland. I go, Disneyland? That means not Scary Farm. That means not Scary Farm. That means I'm going to be able to haunt there.
Yeah.
I was really excited. So, everyone's like, oh, wow, you moved sun and beach. I'm like, not Scary Farm.
Yeah.
A little different opinion on why to move to the West Coast.
Priorities.
So I did 15 years at Not Scary Farm. I did a couple in a maze called The Underground. And then I got onto Ghost Town Streets. And then I did Carnival for 3 years. I was injured on Carnival. And that was my last year there. I'll tell you about that. And then after that, I wanted to look for something else that I could do where I'm not going to, I got jumped. So it compressed the vertebrae of my back. So I have a back injury, and it's permanent. It's all the time.
Yeah.
So I started doing other shows and more immersive theater and other plays. And let's see, I worked Blackout. I worked at Delusion. I worked at Play Dead. I started doing, because I live in LA, right by LA, so I did some films and some TV stuff. Oh, and when I was at Knott's, I also worked off-property promotions for like 7-ish years.
Awesome.
And what that is a daytime gig where you're dressing up as a monster and you're driving in the hearse. My partner would drive it. And we'd go to colleges and events and the angel games and stuff. And we'd promote, we'd monster around and stuff. So that was really fun. We did their commercials, all the billboards. So we did a lot of stuff with Knott's during that time. And that really 15 years at the same haunt really locks you into what it is and developing character. And so when I started doing these other haunts, I started really focusing more on character development and where to take the scares to the next level and beyond. And I'd say in the past, well, the haunt that I'm currently with is the 17th door. And I've been working, I'm not working this year. I worked last year virtually, like on a Zoom screen there.
Yeah.
But I worked there for 6 years, 7 years. Apologize. I'm not good with dates.
All good.
I do know I've been doing this for around 45 years, though.
Yeah. That's wild.
Probably one of the oldest haunters, well, longest running haunters.
Yeah, I would say so.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. And then just like in the past couple of years, like really focusing more on talking to other haunters and like trying to mentor as many people as I can, help anybody who wants to talk about haunting. Come on, it's my pleasure. Honestly, it really is my pleasure. And to try to share some of my knowledge and hopefully we can all get better and we could bring the haunt age like to an even higher and higher place.
Yes.
We all want the same thing.
We all want that same thing.
And it's
we want
only
better scares.
Yeah, better scares. Let's get better. If we can get the audience to get better, we can get better.
All of it. Give me all of it, man.
Yeah. So that's me. I just like, and it went from that one night that I worked at my friend's haunt, her home haunt, to I work year round now because of immersive theater. Right. So I can work, I'm also doing like some TV and some film stuff. There's stuff around like in horror, but that stuff lasts forever. But to me, I just want to do live shows, live theater, live horror.
It's not the same. I did. I've grown up doing like a bunch of different theater, and then I moved into film and TV, and it's two different worlds. It really
absolutely is. But here's the thing: somebody just told me the Travel Channel had something where they saw me on. It's 20 years ago, and here is somebody today or yesterday was telling me, "Oh, I saw that last year, the week of Halloween. There was 3 things on TV that I was on. I old things." But it like kind of like leaves a lasting impression. So that's fine. I'll do anything like with horror that's film or TV, that's fine. But my heart, I want to do live shows. I want to have them reacting to me and interacting and really being able to get into their psyche and work them hard. I'm so far away from doing pop scares. And actually, I don't really know of pop scares anymore where you just wait for the cue and go pop and then they move on. Yeah. You can get really good animatronics. And I think haunt owners should try to focus on getting their performers to perform and do other things besides just pop scares.
Yeah,
it's a great way to start. Yeah, I know you do because you guys are theater. It is a great way to start and a great way to start for home haunts. And the home haunts are so advanced these days. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like, it's incredible what they do now.
What people do. Wow.
Yeah. Shout out to home haunts. Dang.
Yeah. Shout out. And one thing I really hate is when a home haunter goes, I just have a home haunt. That drives me crazy.
No, you have a home haunt.
You put your money and your blood into your art and you're creating something and you're doing it on your own house. I mean, that's awesome. And I started a home haunter. So don't put down home haunters. It gets me crazy when home haunters like hang their heads. Home haunters are the best. I love home haunters and I love some of the stuff that's going on, man. Even the lawn decorations last year really kicked it up with lawn decorations.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. They really did. I saw pictures and we saw a couple of houses like here last year where they were just like, they're so inventive and so creative and like pro haunts. Like, I love them. I love pro haunts, but man, these home haunters they're making them run for their money. That's for sure.
This house like really close to my place where I live, and it's got this graveyard set up, and it's got one of like the 40-foot skeletons just like overseeing all of the headstones that are just like, there's probably like 30 headstones on this regular size front lawn.
I love
Cobwebs coming off the house, and every time I go by, I'm like, just a happy little kid. Just like, oh my gosh, it's so pretty. I need to stop and get a photo. Just take selfies with all the headstones in the back.
It's just so, it just makes you feel all good and fuzzy inside.
And it's like the right time of year.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, I'm supposed to go tonight. After I leave you guys, I'm going over to see Zombie Ballet.
Ooh.
I'm so excited to see them. They've been performing at Scare LA for so many years, and it's like, this is the first season. I actually could see their whole show, so I'm so excited.
Yes.
So I'm doing that, and then after that, I'm meeting up with John Schnitzer.
With John. Hi, John.
We're going to look at. He's got he knows where it is.
Right.
He knows where the best home haunts are in Los Angeles. So of course he knows. So I'm gonna go meet up with him, and we're gonna walk around and check out some home haunts and not home haunts, but lawn decorations.
Yeah,
I don't think he wants to go in people's houses this year.
Yeah.
Fair,
I feel that. Yeah.
The season.
I have done some drive-bys in my car, in my neighborhood and stuff.
Like, what's that? Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute. We do it for Christmas.
That's what I was thinking, exactly. Some people get excited for the Christmas lights, and we're the ones who are driving around for the Halloween lights.
Where's the skeleton
that's
at?
the thing. So Christmas is easier because it's lit up.
Yeah.
Not all haunted displays are lit up.
No.
There's blocks in my area where you could see it lit up from blocks away. It's like, oh, there's a block. Yeah. But I found out, I've been going to those blocks, and there's always one or two that are on these Christmas blocks. Yeah. And they put in the Halloween stuff. It's like, yay.
They're getting in the spirit.
Yeah, go for it. It's like, thank you for not starting your Christmas decorations now.
We went to a haunt last night called Cougar Creek. Shout out to Cougar Creek. Amazing haunt here in Vancouver.
Where is it?
It's in Vancouver, in BC.
I'm trying to think where it is.
Just right above the border, literally, because it was in Surrey.
Yeah, because it's just outside of Vancouver.
So how was that haunt that you went to?
It was so good. They have two haunts. One was called Devil's Descent, and the second one was called Motor City Inn. I need to
honestly,
double check.
I wouldn't even know. I walked through them, and I had the biggest little girl smile on my face ever. And everyone's walking around. I'm like, hi, you're doing great. Oh, I love your that was a good scare. Oh, you got me there. And I was just just like a little cheerleader.
I was thanking scarers for making me scream. I'm like, thank you.
I usually, first of all, you can scare me. I'm all the way on the other side now, where when I'm in haunted house mode, you could scare me. So I know everybody's thrilled when they scare me. Everyone scares me.
Yeah.
But I gotta be in that mode. I gotta flip my brain. When I'm working and somebody comes behind me and does that, I'm like, we're working, right? This is not the time to do this. But then, I go, right?
Yeah.
But when we go to a haunt, it's like I turn my brain off, and it's like a pop scare. I'm like, yay! I applaud for everyone.
That was us last night.
And
it was so great. I was in front of her for a majority of it, and all I hear from behind is and I'm just like, she's got the biggest smile on her face, but she's holding herself. It was so good. It made me so happy.
They were just so good.
Is that a new haunt, or
it's not? They changed their name. They used to be called Potters. So maybe you know them by that name.
Maybe.
And they've been doing it for, I want to say, at least 10 years.
Yeah, at least 10 years.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, but they're so they're not in the main city area. So I don't know if they get the same amount of attention as the theme park,
which is sad.
Which is very sad. But they're incredible. They're an incredible haunt. Their facade is amazing.
It's like a pro haunt, but it's got the kind of
home haunter vibe.
Home haunter vibes, because it's it's scaled down, but at the same time, it just feels, when you're in it, it just feels incredible and huge. And we were walking through, and I could have sworn, I was like, did we already come down this hallway? It felt like it took forever to get through them, which was amazing.
Yeah.
But really, it wasn't that long. It was probably what, 10, 15 minutes to walk through the whole thing?
I think it was more like 30.
Really?
I felt like 30.
At least time went by too fast.
Yeah, you lose track. The haunt that I'm working at now, 17th door, is the main haunt itself. Once you get in, this stuff outside is, I think, 40 minutes. I might be wrong by a minute or two, but people come out and they're like, "Oh, it's only 15 minutes." It's like, no, it's 17 doors. And then they have another outdoor haunt that's like a VIP now, so you can add on and make it a big thing. Mm-hmm. But I was yesterday, you went to a haunt yesterday. I went to a haunt yesterday.
Yeah.
I went to see Lights Out. It's Lights Out Haunt. And what they are is they're an immersive theater company. Immersive haunt group. And I know these guys because they work with me at 17th door. Some of them still do. And one of the guys is like, "Hey, I want to do my own thing." And they've been doing some stuff with it. Every show they do gets better and better. And I love going to it. Not just because my daughter works in it. That's not the reason. It just is a great bunch of people that are performing. And this one was really interesting. It, like I said, it's more immersive theater, but it's all haunt stuff. So you go into like a main room, and this was at one of the guys' houses. They did it, so that was cool. Okay. You go into the main room. Oh, and this is the good part because my daughter's doing this, and she's reading they're not going to do it again, so I'll tell you what it is. She's reading and she wrote her own dialogue, and she does like these kind of weird and scary nursery rhymes. Mm-hmm. She does one, and then the first one was about sheep, and then it was like Baba Black Sheep, I guess, or Mary. I forget which one it was. Sorry. And then you go into she tells you to knock on the door, and you knock on the door, and you go into this room, and then this scene is acted out. Great actors in this, great dialogue, and then you come back out, and then she starts another poem.
Oh my God.
And then you knock on another door and you go in, another scene, and you come out and it happens again. So it was a really interesting way of doing it.
That's
and
fun.
Then you go out and they cycle the next group in. Yeah. So it's like 10, 12 minutes each for this show.
So
They've never done a show like that kind of format. Yeah. Really different. And what a great idea. About using a center platform and stretching out. This is what I'm talking about. These new, I never thought of doing something like that.
No.
This is the stuff that gets me going. Like new ideas, new scares, new ways to take your character. This is what's exciting to me.
It sounds a lot like Sleep No More, which is something I've always wanted to go to. Do you know Sleep No More?
No.
Oh, so it's in New York, and it's like an immersive theater event where you go in and
let me just tell you.
You tell me.
It's the first one.
Yeah,
so it's the first one that started with immersive haunting in the United States. I've heard of something else in England. I'm not sure if it came first or second, but I know it's the first one in the U.S.
Yeah.
From that, and that's going on probably 15, 20 years. Again, I'm terrible with numbers. But Delusion, which is the one that I worked at, kind of has like a backbone from something like that, although completely different. But Sleep No More, if you can. It's McKendrick's Theater. My friend does the magic show.
Who went there. He went to he was in New York, and he went there, and he was telling me all about it. And it's like they give you masks and you go into it, and it's different. You essentially explore this house, this meander style, and it's like different stories, and not everyone's gonna get the same story within the same evening. You may go onto the third floor but never go to the second floor. Just like the person that you came with, you could get split up and you might not see each other for the rest of the house. It's really crazy and incredible. And the stories don't repeat. They kind of just like have one story for the night, and you just see what you see.
So that's a type of free fall where you're interviewing other people. Darren Lynn Bousman does them also, shows like these. My daughter's really into those shows. Delusion is more linear, where you're in a show, but it's more linear, and you get pulled off. Part of the group will get pulled off to different spots and have different adventures and stuff, but it is more linear. Creep is another one that I go to. I just went to it. It was great, JPL Productions, and they're working now with Amazon. And they just took over the Three of Clubs club, and they redid the whole place. And again, great actors, and they're doing a storyline. So the beginning part, you're in one area. Again, I don't want to talk about detail. You're in one area, and you interact with people, and things happen. And what I did is I went with my daughter and her boyfriend. We usually do a couple of these together. And then we're all off talking to different characters and they interact with you in their character. And then we come back and we're like, oh, this guy just said this. Oh, this guy said that. And we try to like piece together the story, and then boom, we get put into the next area. And now different things are happening. And the knowledge that you get from the first part affects how you're going to react in the other part.
Yeah.
Pretty cool, huh?
That is
Gosh.
awesome.
That's kind of like, what are those like murder mystery?
Those
like
murder mystery parties.
Home?
Yeah.
So it's like each like layer, you get a little bit of information from different characters, and so it drives the story.
Yeah, exactly. But if you don't want to interact and you just want to sit at the table and get a drink or whatever, you can do that too, and you can still enjoy what's happening in those performances, and you know. But these kind of shows that have the more you put into them, the more you get out of them, are so much more satisfying for both the guest and for the performer.
Right. Absolutely, I agree. Yeah.
Wow. So and then the other side of it is I also work with Black Mask, which is, let me spell it for you, BL, the number 4, K, S, the number 4, SS. So it's Black Mask, and they get rid of the C and put the 4s for A's. Yeah. So these guys are working in immersive theater that's an extreme. Okay. They do extreme shows, and I've been doing online shows with them, which is something that I just started doing last year. But the first time I went to their show, like they invited me to the show, not to perform, just come. And God, it was the scariest thing. They made me park my car and lock my stuff in the car, my phone, and just stand there with my key. And where they told me to wait was like a dead end, and there was a railroad track, and it was wooded. And I'm like, I realized, I don't have my phone with me. And every car that comes by, I'm like, are they going to kill me or pick me up and take me to the haunt? Or are they taking me? And then, I realized I'm about to get into a car with strangers. My mother would be rolling over in my grave if she heard that. But
maybe free candy. Maybe free
candy. That would have been a great idea. They should get a white van and put a sign up, free candy, and just pick up the guests that way. But so I've been doing shows with them. So I started by going to their shows, and then I was talking to them, and then I was doing an online thing for 17th Door last year, and being stuck inside. Yeah. That worked out great. And then I did a few others, and that's one of the ones I just did, and we just wrapped Switchblade Romance, which was a really fun show to do.
Yeah,
sounds fun. I wrote my own character, wrote my own dialogue, fit it into the director's idea, and it was really fun. And it's harder to engage with guests, on a video platform. Yeah. But I'm getting better and better every time I do another show. And I've actually got jump scares in one of the shows I did to them. So yay.
Classic. I love it.
Yeah. I do love how this industry is so good at adapting. Like, that is so wonderful to see, because like last year sucked. And we can all admit that. Yeah. That sucked. It sucked for everybody.
It was so weird.
Yeah, it was very weird. But to have the ability, like through Zoom or other online platforms, to still be able to give like a performance to people is just like, it's so cool to see. Like,
it absolutely is. And I agree with you. And I'm a consumer myself. I mean, if there's something cool, I want to see it. We did a bunch of immersive stuff. There was this cool one. They're not doing it anymore, but it was from Japan. And he was early on in the pandemic. He figured out how to use this platform, and it was really fun. And we had a great time doing it. And my daughter and I started saying, that would be a cool thing to do. We could do something like that. And then then these other opportunities started to pop up. So I guess other people started. Awesome. But yeah, like Sleep No More, I think that inspired, not copied, but inspired other immersive stuff. Yeah. And now there's like all this. Well, I live here in LA, and there is like a ton of immersive theater. But the nice thing is, this last show that I just did, Switchblade Romance, 8 different countries.
Oh my God.
People from 8 different countries came to this show. So wow, what an amazing way to reach people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That's it. That's amazing. That blows my mind.
Yeah. So, they were planning on doing it
once
doing more online stuff once they went to, once we're able to do in-person shows again. And then they realized, hey, we have an international audience. Let's cultivate this, because they do travel, and they did shows in Europe, England, like a year before the pandemic, and they are planning on doing more traveling shows, which is good for me. But also doing online stuff, because when I travel, I go to haunts, which is great when I travel with my daughter, because my husband doesn't.
He can hold the bags outside.
Yeah.
Well, when we go to Japan, there's a couple of different places that have haunts, and he goes and does like shopping, like he likes to cook, so he goes to the knife district and buys knives, and we're out like going through haunts and like experiencing these horrible things, and we get back to the hotel, he's like, I bought this knife.
We saw a cool knife at the haunt. It's all connected.
It all connects. It's fine.
But I love seeing families that are haunt families, where the couples are are together, are haunters, and that's really great, and that makes a great dynamic. But my guy isn't. What am I going to do? He's cool about things. He wasn't thrilled when my daughter started to get into haunting. That was quite a little issue, but he got over it. He kept saying, well, because of all the abuse that we take, he didn't want his daughter. Of course, he's a great father. Why would he want his daughter to be subjected to something like that?
Yeah.
So like her first year, like I had to make sure she was like behind plastic and stuff like that. So.
Mm-hmm.
But now she's like immersive theater. She does her own thing, and he just like is everything's fine. Everything's fine.
It's
just
great.
Don't tell him the horror stories. He doesn't need to know those.
No.
Yeah.
I actually feel that immersive theater is a lot safer than
I can imagine.
Yeah.
General public haunts, especially theme parks, which just
oh my Lord, yes.
Just I couldn't believe the amount of violence that I saw on performers when I came to here to work, and I worked at a theme park. I mean, when I worked at the Haunted Hayride, I got kicked in the chest all the time. But then you realize, okay, the hayride is here, and your feet come out to here, and you say, here's the safe zone. So once you figure that distance out, you never approach any closer than that. Because number one is not getting the scare. Number one is keeping ourselves safe. Yes. Number two is getting the scare, and number three is keeping the guests safe.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
we want the scare.
We
want that scare. You're right.
Speaking of theme parks and safety and like actors getting hurt, like as a newbie, if you're starting out at a new haunt, whether it's a theme park or not, what are some things that like actors should look out for as like red flags that could potentially be like this haunt I shouldn't be working at?
That's a really good one. I do teach a course on Haunt 101, which is you've already decided you want to haunt, you've auditioned, and you've made the team, the family, and now you're going to go in. But wait, you need to learn all these things. Mm-hmm. So what are the red flags that you want to look for? You want to make sure that when you're put into a situation that there's security or another person or another set of eyes on you. Because if you're put in a room by yourself and somebody inflicts violence on you, there's no one there to help you. You have to always know where your outs are. Yeah. But if you're put into situations that are unsafe, every haunt needs to have good security and more. Whatever they think is good, they need more.
Yes,
yeah, absolutely.
I agree.
Always.
every time I've been hurt or attacked or whatever, there wasn't anybody there, right there.
Yeah,
and it's
that
like
breaks my heart.
The time when I my injury that took me out of full-time haunting, which is when this guy jumped on my back, I waited about 15 minutes, and every monster that went by, I yelled, "Get security! Get security!"
Oh my God!
So it is. Well, this is a problem. Yeah. But making sure your performers are safe, not making a lot of money, not putting on the most extreme, the most terrifying event. Your number one your number one thing should be to your performers' safety.
Yeah.
And if you can't keep your performers safe, you shouldn't be running a haunt, first
Agreed.
of all.
100%.
Agreed. 10,000%.
Right. If they're, it's things that wow, this seems like not a good idea. If somebody tells you, oh, you're going to play a hanging person, try not to jump out off the platform because you're wearing a noose around your neck. Not cool.
No.
Put this knife near you, but try not to push it in. Not good. You don't want, if you put a knife by you, a guest is going to go like this at some point. That's going to happen.
Yeah. Even if it's rubber, even if it's plastic, like it's going to happen. And like, you may not get the same type of injury as like a real metal knife, but it doesn't mean it's not going to affect you or hurt you, whether physically or emotionally or mentally in one way or another.
And that's another point, emotionally. Make sure, especially if you're doing extreme haunts, that you understand that this is a show and what you're doing may touch topics that not everybody is okay with. And I've worked at shows like that because I work for like in kids haunts where kids can go to, and then I work for shows that are 21 and over. So I'm cool with all different things. I do work extreme haunts. I love them, but I can also work an independent home haunt that's like a happy one. It's all good. I love doing it all. Not everyone is that kind of person, which is fine. There's all different kind of people and there's all different kind of haunts.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So make sure if you do work something that has themes that could, trigger you, that you understand what it is. I talk to people like at 17 that when we hire them and say, you understand we're going to talk about these subjects that you may not be cool about it. You may not like, you have to understand it's a show. And I always say, when you see a movie about World War II, the guy who's playing Hitler, he probably doesn't want to kill people. He's probably nice.
Yeah. So
you have to understand, especially when people are starting, that actors take on roles, and just because they're doing things doesn't mean that they're horrible, terrible people.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a reflection of who they are as a person on the inside. It's a character that you take on.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Art is art.
That's one of the things I get when I meet people. Like if they see some of my work or they see me in a show, like after, like see me at doing talking or meeting me or something.
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Oh, you're so nice." It's like, why would you think I'm not nice? Because last time I saw you, I had a knife to you. I mean, that was a show.
I also had blood coming out of my face, and I don't now. So
right, exactly. And then the other thing I would also say for safety is more like a hygiene thing.
Bless. Bless. Yes.
If you're asked to share a mask and they're not washing it or clothes, having put those kind of things, sharing things, makeup, when you're not having professional makeup artists and somebody's using the same makeup on you and that they just used before and the guy had pink eye, now you're going to have pink eye too,
thank you.
Or whatever. And nowadays, I mean, with now everyone's a lot more conscious about, hygiene.
Sure. Oh, I mean, back in the day, when I was in like really young, like plays, we were all sharing the same mascara wand, and that is not something you would do even now today with your friends. You're like, no.
Oh, the worst is like knots. Hey, I don't have any blackout. Do you have any blackout? Sure do. Here's this one that I give every single person that asks me. If you want to use it, this is the one I use on my personal stuff, but you can use this if that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
But now I wouldn't even have that share. I would be like, nope.
Yeah.
On my blackout. Nope, I don't have any. Sorry.
Guess I'm using a permanent marker tonight.
Well, I love that airbrush came into the haunt industry. Like you say, back in the day. I could say back in the day when everybody bought, like somebody, like the haunt would go to Rite Aid or Walgreens and buy a pack of little plastic. And then everybody would, can I borrow it now? Yeah. Can I use some, here, put some blood on. Okay, I'm good. So airbrush and having professional makeup artists really make a great difference. And,
for sure.
Like if you see on my Facebook or my Instagram, a lot of the monsters I do, especially zombies, I love doing zombies. I know how to do it because I've been, I'll show you my zombie shirt.
Yeah.
I'm going to zombie ballet today, so I love zombies.
Gotta represent.
I heart
Absolutely.
zombies with a heart
I love
in the
zombies.
heart position.
Yeah.
But they're easy to do. They're easy makeups to do. But I can make it really good, and I could do a professional makeup job with a zombie in 45 minutes. Boom, and done. Because I've been doing it for so long.
Right.
But that's me putting on zombie makeup. Then if I go to a professional makeup artist, I look 10 times better. But I can't always have a professional makeup artist. But boy, what professional makeup artist has done for haunt industry, instead of getting a box from the a mask from the box. You ever work a haunt thing? Go pick a mask out of the box and come back over here, and I'll tell you where you'll be. You're reminding me because you've heard that story before.
You're reminding me of my haunter starter days, where we had like masks in a box, costumes in a box, and we had that the stuff in the tube, and like the stuff in the pot, and you wouldn't have an applicator, so you use your finger.
Of course.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ben Nye Makeup. I still have a whole bunch of like the little containers in my drawers at home. Love me some Ben Nye.
Yeah.
my first thing that I was able to realize as a haunter, that was my first change in this kind of stuff, was, hey, if I had my own costume, I could wash it and come here clean. And then getting permission from a haunt to say, well, it won't really match. I'll bring it in and you can approve it.
Yeah.
And they're going, well, all right. And then you buy your own costume and you're like, look, it's perfect and it would be great. And you don't have to spend money repairing it. Oh, okay, let's see it. Let's see you work. And then you do it once and they're like, yeah, that's fine. That's the best. Now you have your own costume. You can wash it. And then you go out and buy 2 more because you're working all the time.
Yeah.
You want to have this, you don't want to wash it every single night. You want it, but you want to wash it you don't want to wear it every day.
Right.
You want to have a full load when you wash, just because I do just haunt costumes.
Yeah.
Right.
You have to at that point with all the blood.
Yeah.
With all the stuff that gets on it. Yeah, for sure.
So sorry for going on a big tangent.
No, that's
never apologize.
We love tangents and meandering.
Meandering is what this podcast is all about.
I am in the meander.
Perfect.
Hell yeah. Okay, so for newbie haunters, I'm going to ask you another question. What are some things that they should anticipate for their first night?
Ooh, that's a really good one.
That's a good one. Anticipate you're going to get a scream. And hope for it and work for it. And when you do get it, take it in and feel it and understand that you did that and feel joyful about that and feel like this is a really cool thing. This is what I was going for. I want more.
Yeah.
Because it really, really is addictive.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Because it's an adrenaline thing. So, in your pleasure centers of your brain, your adrenaline's going, hey, this is good. So when you're doing that, it's really important to not sit there after you got your scare and go, yes, I did it. Just take it inside yourself, feel that good feeling and say, where can I get my next one?
Yeah. Own it and then take it and put it out to the next one.
But don't brag and don't be like, don't cheer. Feel it inside you and get right back on that horse and look for another one.
Yes.
That's the good thing that you want to see and that you anticipate. And depending on what you're working on and everything, you should have on your first night someone. People just take a look at clowns. I've done clowns where you're standing there with anything in your hand, a toothbrush, anything, and somebody goes by you and they're like, ah! And you're like, I did that.
Yeah.
That feeling, even though you didn't do it, they just are afraid of a clown. Yeah. But own it anyway, feel it, and move on and see how you can make a scare a little thicker and deeper than just that.
Yeah.
Then the bad things to look out for. Make sure that you don't bounce off the walls in your first 15 minutes. Use up all your energy and feel like you have to be 1,000% for every single guest in the first half hour.
Integral.
Oh, God, yeah.
What?
I was just saying that's integral. Integral advice.
By your first by your first break or your lunch or whatever you have, hopefully you have a break, you're dead. Your body, and then you get you lose the most people on your first night and your first weekend.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not the first night that you should be talking about. We actually start a month before, 6 weeks before, and we do cardio. Yeah. That's really important. If you prepare your body for haunting, it makes it easier to get through the physicalities because your body is moving in different, unique ways that you probably have never used it before. So your body's going to ache and it's going to hurt and you're going to feel like pretty crappy. And it doesn't matter if you're doing it the first year or you're doing it the 30th or 70th. What is not 70th, I guess not. But it doesn't matter what year you're doing it. It's always the first weekend sucks. And the better you prepare your body, the better your first day will be. So if you did your cardio, I know all the time my haunters, when they did their cardio, their new ones, you can see them with their hands in their heads, right? Yeah. So that's something that you have to be prepared for is the pain and the discomfort of just the soreness of your body. Also, you got to understand you're doing a show, and if somebody calls you a name, you can't go up and confront them. Don't break a character ever. Always just somebody makes fun of you. Who cares? They're not making fun of you. They're making fun of the character you're portraying. And
it's kind of great if someone feels that emotionally invested to call out that character.
Yes,
exactly.
That's a good reaction.
Yes, get a reaction. If you can't scare them, you're going to entertain them. You're going to make them scream. You're going to make them laugh. You're going to give them something to go, that guy in that third room with the funny hat. Oh, my, did you see when he did this?
Yeah.
You want to do something that makes them, when they leave the haunt, remember you. And remember something, not just how you look and how the makeup is, because that's a reflection on your artist, which you want that, but you're not taking that for yourself. You have this amazing makeup and people, you have amazing makeup, and you go, thank you, it's my makeup artist who does this great work. You want people to say, wow, this guy did whatever. That was so cool. And then they're on there. It's great to work at the end of the maze because you can hear people talking.
Yeah.
Hear what's affecting them and what they thought. So, there's negative and positive stuff that you're going to be having on your first day. But you know what? If you're a haunter, you push down the bad, you raise up the good, and move forward and get ready for the next day. Go home and sleep and rest. And if you have work or school, you're going to do that, but you're going to not go out and you're not go partying, because a lot of people make that mistake and they're out the first weekend. Woo, everyone's going to Denny's. Yay. Don't do that. You go to Denny's next month.
Get the rest that you need.
Oh my God,
yeah. We've all made that mistake.
Yeah, it happens all the time, but if you do it on a regular basis, you're going to pay for it. Everything you put in, you come out. Look, everybody has to work. Everybody has school. Well, almost everybody. Not me, I'm too old. But almost everybody has schoolwork. Yeah. So you have to do that, or family obligations. So you have to do that. You have to make it to your haunt, and then everything else that's in your wheelhouse goes down. Yeah. And you want to go out one night or 2 nights, that's fine. But you want to haunt. This is the only time of year you're going to do this. Yeah. November 15th, you're going to be like, oh man. Let's get together and go do this. Yeah, yay. But October 15th, don't do that. Wait till next month, because October 16th, you want to be out there and you want to go hard.
That's right.
By the time November comes, the end of November, you're recovered and you're like, oh, I wish I could do that again. I wish I had one more day. You both are laughing because it's true.
Yeah. Every time.
One more day.
I swear, after every season, it would be like a week after, and I would be like, man, I miss the sound of the screams.
There was one of the haunt that we worked at. We were open one year on November 1st and 2nd because it was that was the weekend. The Halloween fell, I think, on a Thursday.
So they just extended it.
But it was, and while we were happy enough to keep going for a couple extra days, it was such a weird change. Of people coming in. We were so excited, but everyone else who would come in was just well, I mean, it's November.
It's not Halloween anymore.
Okay. But this is my life.
If I could do this every day, I would.
But Well, that's what separates people that do this as a hobby or do this as a way to make some coin,
Yeah.
and people that are haunters that are doing this because they want to perform and they want to get the scares and they want to do this. I mean, there's also, and I don't mean to say that as to put people down, because if that's their motivation and that's their thing, good for you. Go for it. Do it. But, people that really, really need to be out there and we need that scares. We need to hear those screams. My husband's like, he's been putting on a lot of horror movies for me that normally we wouldn't watch.
Right.
Because he's like, I know you're sad. I'm like, yes, I'm more than sad.
I love that.
But we've been watching I love the old horror movies from Universal. So he's been looking for adjacent ones, oh, here's one you haven't seen. So he'll watch those. He won't watch any modern horror,
right.
That's for sure. But it's that this is my time that I'm supposed to be doing this. This is, and when you've been doing it as long as me, it just seems like a natural cycle in my body. And my body right now is like, hey, why aren't you getting scared right now?
Yeah. I feel that in a very big way.
Yeah.
Because I've said this before, I think on this podcast, but no one ever really teaches you how to grieve a project. And with Halloween, this is our time. And so us not being able to do the thing that we always do and have been doing for decades at this point.
Yeah.
It's our body feels
like it's in a state of something.
Yeah, and it's in a state of grief. Yeah. That's what I feel.
Absolutely.
It's a state of grief.
Last year it was weird because I was a part of me was thinking, oh, I can experience this month in a different way and see what comes of it, and ooh, maybe I'll go to those I mean, if there wasn't a pandemic, maybe I'll go to those Halloween parties people talk about all the time. But everything in me has just been you're not doing your natural state of who you are.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, yeah. And now I just feel like I'm anxious and angsty, and I need to move and creep around a corner a little bit.
Yeah. Ditto.
Yeah.
I feel the same way. Everybody that I know that's stuck in a position where they can't haunt this year feel it. Some places are open and people are back to normal and they're haunting or taking risks, and that's their choice. That's their choices, and if that's what they want to do, okay,
all the power to them.
Yeah,
all the
that's
power
fine.
To each their own.
Pardon?
To each their own.
Exactly. Yeah. But then the other thing you get, which you were just mentioning, is you get that post-haunt, down, that depression that you get. So I work in Christmas also.
Oh, do you?
So sometimes I'll do regular Christmas, and sometimes I'll do haunted Christmas. Guess which I like to do better?
The haunted Christmas?
Regular Christmas?
Yeah. If I can get some kind of haunted Christmas gig, and I've gotten those, I'm all there. If not, I'm Mrs. Claus.
You're a great Mrs. Claus.
Oh, thank you.
I would never step out of line with you.
I have a great Santa, and it all depends on who. And he's a haunter too. By the way.
Perfect. The chemistry is there.
Yeah, we have chemistry too. So yeah, but if I have a choice, I'll always go for the horror Christmas because that's fun too. And horror 4th of July, and horror Valentine's Day, and horror any other pop. I'll do a horror Mother's Day. Let's bring it on. Any holiday can be a
on. Let's go.
One.
Let's do it.
I would love to do that. Just do one holiday after another, and just do it as just reopen wherever you are, and just do this weekend it's haunted Mother's Day, which I think would be great.
That'd be so cool.
Mothers are scary, aren't they? My daughter said yes.
Mrs. Voorhees, right there.
Right. Yeah.
All right.
Totally.
The questions that I've wanted to ask so far have been answered because you are wonderful. But I have more. Okay. So kind of carrying on to the Christmas thing a little bit of the non-spookiness. What's your favorite non-Halloween horror thing to do that might surprise people?
So I don't celebrate any holidays, not religious. I'm not religious, but I don't even celebrate Halloween.
Okay.
I celebrate haunt season. So that's the only thing I do. Yeah. My other interests, I love Star Trek. I love professional wrestling, and I love magic.
I'm looking
Kindred
at my
spirits.
future, and it is beautiful.
Kindred spirits.
Right?
Oh my God, professional wrestling. I drag this one over here. I drag Courtney with me. Anytime that there's like a WWE show comes here, I'm like, Courtney, we're going.
And I'm like, let's go.
Like, no one else will go with me. My partner will buy me the tickets, but he will not go with me. He's like, no, this is for you and Courtney.
Have a fun girls'
And
night.
I'm like, yay, we're going to see everyone. We're going to see the wrestlers. Oh, and I'm going to nerd out for just a second, but like WWE just put on an interactive Undertaker
I know.
on Netflix. Yeah, of course. I've gone through all this. I've gone through all the options as well.
First day I was there, and
me too.
I put it up on my Facebook also because a lot of haunters, well, they love the Undertaker, but a lot of haunters are into wrestling. Raina from Black Mask, who's one of the founders, she's a professional wrestler. Monique, who works with me both in Black Mask and 17, she's a professional wrestler. Girl wrestlers, right?
And oh my God, they're amazing.
Cool.
Amazing. And I, like right now, my girl wrestler crush is Becky Lynch. I was a big fan of Paige for the longest time. And then unfortunately she had to retire. But okay, we could go on a completely different tangent.
I know, we could do it. I just
could meander down a different role.
And I have to tell you, I just saw a class. Like I was doing a lot of these online haunt conventions, and I saw one that was using wrestling in your haunt. I was like, oh, let's watch this.
Yeah.
So the idea of using, and this is something that I try to encourage people anyway, is not just to look at horror movies. You want to look at all different media for inspiration. Mm-hmm. I always try to do babies, and I don't mean little babies. If you take the Undertaker and take Charlie Brown, put them together, what baby do they have? Be that character.
That's good advice.
Characters that are completely different, and make sure at least one is not horror.
Yeah,
put them together and make a character. My character that I did at Not Scary Farm that I did for almost the whole time, so like 12 years out of the 15, was called Smiley, and Smiley was based on a couple of different characters. Nosferatu, the original one, where you see him in black and white, right? The Macho Man, Randy Savage, and and put them together and have a baby, and you get this character that's going to be original. The only thing I don't like is when people just make the same one. We've already seen Freddy. He's amazing. You don't need to do Freddy. Do somebody else. Do you.
Oh so my gosh,
make your own, put your own, open your mind. And I go to museums every time I travel, and I'm inspired by artwork. I just did a character for Ultra Dark Society in a show there that was based on something I've seen, and I see it a few times. It's a veiled lady, and it's this amazing sculpture of this woman made out of, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, stone, and it's the veil across the face.
Yes. Oh. So I love that, and I always wanted to do something, and I was like, I got it, and I figured out how to do it, and I'll show you a picture if you want. But I used the black veil, and I mean, the character was like frozen at one moment. So that kind of visual, like I was like, I want that. And I showed it to the director, and the director was like, oh yeah, that's you. But with that, I was like, okay. I showed him, I bring like 2 or 3 looks, like these are my ideas. And so like I said, you get influences. I have another character that I'm working on, haven't gotten it out yet, but I saw another sculpture. I'm not just affected by sculpture, I'm affected by a lot of things. But it was in Kyoto, and it was a monk sculpting it. And as he's sculpting it, it cracks down the center. Oh. So he carves another head inside, another face inside this. So it almost looks like it's in there, right?
Oh, yeah, like revealing the true form behind
exactly.
it.
Well, he was saying in the art that it was the soul of the stone coming through. Oh. But I see it a little differently because I'm looking at it different. I see it as a haunter. This is us as haunters with our monster inside us and the persona we put on to show the rest of the world. Because look, I got to go to the PTA. I got to talk to a cop when he pulls me over. I don't need them to see my monster. Right. I have to live in society, and I have to be able to move through all these humans and not get stuck up and have problems. So, I keep my monster in me. Yeah. And when I'm haunting, I let my monster out. My monster gets to play and have fun. So the idea of that two faces. So I see it different than the artist did. Of course, he's the artist, but it inspires me. So I'm going to do at some point a character based on that idea. I don't know when it'll happen, but that's one of the characters. I have a few characters written up that I already have that I want to move forward with. But like, yeah, and I don't care if people take my ideas and do their own thing. That's fine. Go for it. I don't care.
Yeah, well, that's because they'll never, like, even if people try and like take those ideas, I feel like you can never actually copy what someone else is going to do. You are always going to put your own like stamp on it. Hopefully, yes. No, you're absolutely correct.
One of the problems that we always look at, and we try to make sure this doesn't happen, is somebody hears somebody say a cool thing, and now they're saying it in another part of the maze. Well, now that guy is kind of like, you wash that guy up. He can't do his thing because now it sounds like, oh, that guy in the third room said the same thing. And then he's like, wow, I had like a cool. It's like, oh, now you drop your line, come up with something new.
Yeah.
Sometimes it helps us to be better and be more creative.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Okay, well.
Oh, wait, one more. I love musical theater also.
Yeah.
Seriously, I am you. I want to, like, we'll just get together on a different day and we'll just like talk about everything. Yes, I love it.
Yeah.
I just won the lottery for Hamilton. So I was like, I took my daughter. We had front row center. It was fantastic.
Oh my God.
I have that entire musical memorized.
I'm so jealous.
We had to wear masks, so it was good so they don't hear me singing because I cannot sing and I cannot dance.
How can
and that's why I hot.
Yeah. Perfect.
Oh man, that musical is so good.
I know, I love that.
Like honestly, if history was actually taught in that way, I probably would have done a lot better in school.
My daughter is a teacher, and she was teaching history. She was using Hamilton to teach that subject.
It's so well done, and I mean, obviously not like 100% accurate. You have to take some creative liberties here and there, but I mean. As soon as that musical was done, I was like researching, looking everything up, and I was like, "Oh my God, yeah!" That like the little subtleties that they can fit in there, that are truthful.
So that's some weird stuff like that I do. But so I started by doing magic. So it's another thing. And I use magic in haunting. People don't even know I do it. Sleight of hand. Awesome. It's happening. I had a scene in Delusion where I had to produce a key from an area that you couldn't. You didn't know it was going to be there, and I used sleight of hand.
That is so cool.
Yeah, and that's also how I got the part at Play Dead, which is the one that hooked me up with John. You know, things just
and the rest is history.
Yeah.
Okay, do you have another question?
Oh, I've got like a million questions. But you go next. I did the last question.
Okay. So this one actually comes from one of our friends. And she wanted to know if you have ever lost your scare and how did you get it back? Like, I think she was trying to ask, like, if you had ever lost your power during a scare interaction and how you got that back in that interaction.
I have to say, I can't think of one specifically, but I have to say, yes, we always know that no one is 100%. You can get the greatest performer, the greatest actor, the greatest haunter. You can't get every single person. You can't get everyone. Sometimes you think, oh, this one's mine. And they're giving you all the clues that, that you're looking for. And you're like, no pop?
And then nothing, right?
I mean, I can say that. So the way I do that is I just say, I got them. In my mind, I got them, but they don't react the way we expect them to.
Right. Yeah.
Like, if they give you the look like, just like big eyes and like just walk away and ignore you, you might say, wow, they just like, give me attitude or something. It's like, maybe you scared them, but their reaction is different. It's more internal, which is fine. And then when they're moving away, I mean, if you see them moving away and then they're screaming when somebody else scares them, okay, that theory's out the window. But in general, I just always say in my mind, well, they're an internal person. The effect I got is internal. Thankfully, not too many people are like that, but you do get people that have no reaction, and then they come out, and then you see them go, wow. that was seriously good.
Yeah,
Like just
yeah.
down like this, not high. Like I'm high energy. They're like down and like, wow, I didn't think it was going to be that much fun. Like no laughs, no screams, or anything,
Right.
and you just hear that. Like me, I come out of a haunted house and I'm like, you think I'm on crack. I'm like, wow, that was so good. Did you see that? Oh, this one, I love this. You know, I'm like crazy. But you know, when people come out of haunted houses or whatever they're doing, some people are like, yeah, that was really good. Other people like, wow, that was pretty serious.
Yeah,
And it's like they're having fun. You know, they're all good.
yeah,
So I just tell myself like, oh, they're like an internal person.
Okay.
They, you know, just keep on going. If something isn't like if you're getting scares, right? And then all of a sudden your scare fails and you're like, huh, that's been so great. And it happens again and it happens again. If it happens 3 times, okay, something's not right. You try little twists, little body twists, or you dump it or you put it in your back pocket. I always tell haunters to have 3. You have your 2 guns in your holster and you have your 1 gun in your hand. You work in that gun and then you switch over to the other one and then you switch over to the next one. You know, you want to have always a variety of things that you want to have ready to go and look for those happy accidents. Somebody just said something to you. Click. What does that mean? And then you're dialoguing with them.
Yeah.
You know?
Love those happy accidents.
I live for them. I live for them. Some reaction just happened. Somebody said something a girl said something to her boyfriend. Oh, that's not happening in front of me without me getting involved in that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be, even if I'm doing a quiet character where I'm not doing any talking for that moment, if they didn't see me before, oh, they're going to get a different character right now because I'm going to say something. You can't tell your boyfriend something or whatever without me having something to say or do in that action. Yeah. So you got to be ready to drop and switch. And that just comes with practicing.
For sure.
And,
for sure.
You know, learning to improv, again, you guys talked about this previously, so important. You know, take an improv class. The best acting class I always tell monsters is take an animal class. Yes. Because a lot of our monsters are animals or animal based. Learning how to keep your head, how to keep your eyes, how to move, how to change your body. Now, I give all those kind of things with my Haunt 101 about body movement and stuff, but if I'm not there to tell you, go take an animal class. It's a great way to find monsters.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Damn, you have some great advice, my dear.
Oh, thank you.
Great
It'll
advice.
all be in the book.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you working on a book?
I have 2 books, yeah.
Ooh. Oh.
Any release date that we might
No, because I keep changing it.
That's why it's 2 books.
That's why I separate into 2 books, because now I figured they're complete different stories, and I'm trying to do it in 1 book, and I'm like, this is stupid. So then I just switched it into 2, and now I have a better focus. So one is the Haunter's Handbook, which is, you know, it's not just Haunt 101, it's also Haunt 102. Okay. And then the other one is Behind the Mask, and that's more like more of those other things that are like the stories and stuff like that.
Right.
Oh, I want to read both those.
Yeah.
All of it.
If I ever can finish them, John's always telling me.
First in line.
John's always telling me, like, you know, you got to be disciplined. He's so good at these things. You got to be disciplined. You got to write this much a week. And, you know, now it's like I'm dealing with like depression, not being able, I mean, I don't look depressed, right? But not being able to haunt. It's like, it's hard right now, you know? Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping to pick it back up and get back into it and refocus. Now that I figured out the main problem was it was 2 different books in one, I think that'll help me move forward. And I did do a lot of writing recently, so it's like, keep going on it.
Well, we're rooting for you, Shar.
Thank you.
Yeah, always.
Oh, that's awesome. You guys are so cool.
You're so cool. Stop.
Right back at
I want
you.
to be you.
Oh man, just gonna fangirl.
Oh
just
yeah, no, I was
fangirl.
like, I have to like write down questions because the second I see her, I'm just gonna be like, you're so cool and awesome, and I like the way you scare.
It's so awesome. You're the coolest.
You give me nightmares in the best way possible.
It's funny when I meet people that have seen me, not in Haunters, but had seen me in a show or something. Mm-hmm. And then they're real, or they see me in 2 different things where I'm playing different characters and don't even realize it's the same person.
Yeah.
And that's really weird when I interact with people like that.
Yeah.
So I try to be like, hey, that's a show. We're chatting. You know, especially like after the film, after Haunters, like people, like we showed that, I went with John and we showed that like in different countries and different cities and stuff. And it was interesting, like after the show, people like really loved the movie and they wanted to talk to me and hug me. And it was nice. It was something I wasn't used to, you know, but now it's like, I'm okay with it. But it was like the very first time when he did the preview, you know, he wouldn't show me that film until he showed it in a theater. I was kind of mad at him. Yeah.
John, you have some explaining to do.
Crying, you know?
Yeah.
John, you have some explaining to do.
Yeah.
How dare you treat her like this?
Can I see? No. Can I see it? No. He showed 2 previews that I saw at Scare LA, and that was it. He would, and I talked to him all the time.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, he was telling us, he was like, I talk to her every week. She's one of my best friends.
Yeah. He's a cool guy. It's his birthday next week, this week.
Oh.
So,
Happy birthday, John.
Oh, I'll see him tonight. Yeah. I'll see him tonight, probably.
Tell him we say shame for not showing you that video sooner.
Right? And so we saw it all together for the first time. It was we were in Austin, Texas. It was the first time seeing it with an audience, first time showing it to an audience.
Yeah.
And it was him and his wife, and me and my husband. And was Alexander there? I don't remember if Alexander was at that one. Alexander Burke, who was one of the mate. Oh, he's so cool too. Was Donald at that one? No, Donald didn't go to that one. Oh, Donald's really cool too.
Yes,
he seems really cool, especially the way
really
John
cool.
was talking about him.
I never knew Donald, so that was really cool. Getting to meet Donald, like he's the Terminator teddy bear, you know. He's like the Terminator, but he's like a big teddy bear.
Yeah.
But I love taunting. We got to haunt when John got that gig. He got 2 gigs at YouTube, and we worked together on that. So that was really fun.
Yeah. Oh man, that must have been such a trip to like see him in the film and then to meet him and then get to work with him.
Yeah, it was. And this was the year I was gonna. He asked me every year to come on Halloween and work his haunt, but I've already got a job.
Yeah.
But I was like, well, you know, maybe this year I could go and be outside and do a mask under my mask. And it didn't. He's not doing anything this year.
Dang.
No, that's because he's got the baby now, right?
Yeah, but sooner or later he's coming back.
Oh,
And baby is a giant baby. So
how could you not use, like, I'm sorry, but if I had kids, I would use my kids in my own haunt. I'd be like, look at this infant that is to be sacrificed to Satan tonight. Like, it'd be something.
Yeah.
It's a family event, so I would include everyone.
Family affair.
Yeah, well, you saw the movie. His wife really isn't into Halloween, so.
Yeah, which is fair, but I think at the same time, like, let him have the Halloween.
I feel the same way. My husband would be thrilled if I did it one night a year.
Yeah.
That's not gonna happen. No. Sorry, honey. You know what you married.
Yeah, I'm at the age right now where we're talking about retirement, and it's like it's not gonna make a difference to me.
No.
I'm still gonna, even if I retire, I'm still gonna do movies, and I'm still gonna do haunts, and I'm still, gonna go to conventions and talk, and go to haunts and talk to people and stuff.
Yeah.
Nothing is gonna change for me, except I could just hang the moniker of retired on me.
Yeah, it's like you may be retired, but you're not going to give up your passion and what you love.
It's in your blood.
It's what makes you.
Right? I just don't understand when I meet people. This is something, and it's fine but I don't understand it. It's like, well, this is my 10th year. That's a good round number. This is my last year. What, you mean you're not coming back because 10 is a round number? Yeah, I think that's it. Or whatever number people decide. Mm-hmm. And I honestly, I can't wrap my head around that. Yeah. And so the idea of you could be haunting, or you could just say, I haunted. I don't understand, especially after you've done it for so long. Like, I understand if you have obligations or if you have health issues or whatever, or you move to an area where they don't have a haunt, or whatever reason. I understand, but I just don't understand people just saying, and that's a wrap. Bye. See ya.
Yeah,
that's so weird to me.
Yeah, to me too.
I mean, we both left our haunt for like a couple years here and there. I know that when I left, I was like, I kind of had the idea that like maybe I was like done, but then like you leave, and then when you actually like accept the fact that you left, you're like, it's like I was crawling to get back in. I was finding any excuse. Like back. I wasn't officially on staff, but like once in a while I'd get called to be like, hey, we don't have anyone to cover this one spot. Can you come in? And I'm like, I don't technically work there. And they're like, yeah, but can you come in? And I'm like, yeah, I'll be in there. I'll see you at 5. I'll be there. I'll be there.
Yeah, every time. And like there was a period of time where I was like away for about 2 years, and
just different work took you
because I was working in film as production assistant and set decorator and art director and all that stuff. And then I was just like, I felt burnt out, and I was like, how can I help the haunt?
Yeah.
And so I ended up doing like daytime stuff and like getting the costumes cleaning the mask, getting makeup ready, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
I still got to be a part of it, but I was like, I just need to like go and relax and be part of the haunt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have that same feeling. Yeah. The one year that I had broken my elbow, and that was the year I was the cast coordinator, and that was fine and everything. And I know everybody liked me doing it, but my elbow wasn't busted the next year, and I didn't want to sit. And
no, you don't have to be.
Yeah, I didn't have to. So I wanted to perform, and the guy that took over for me was fantastic. This guy Kevin. So. I didn't feel like, I was letting the haunt down, because you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But, I have like a background also because like, in the beginning, haunting doesn't work 12 months a year. So I do have like other things that I could do that I can help out with things with production and stuff like that. But ultimately, what do I want to do? Do I want to my husband's like, do you want to open your own haunt? I'm like, why would I want that headache? I don't want to do that.
No.
I don't want to do all the work. I want to do all the work.
Yeah.
Again, another thing that we agree on there, Shar.
Yeah, it's funny because like I'm the one who's like, I'll do the work.
And I'm like, I'll do the work.
Like I'm cool with doing anything with the cast. Yeah. So cast coordinating, acting, acting classes, helping, training, working with people. They can tell me their problems about their boyfriends or whatever. I'm fine with all that. Instructing, people why it's important to shower and use deodorant, things like that like cast coordinators generally don't want to talk to somebody. They'll come to me. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Any of that stuff where, it's working towards helping our performers get better.
Yeah.
And work better in a cohesive group, anything like that. I'm there. I'm 100% there, and they know that. So even though, like at the 17th, or even though I'm not cast coordinator, I'm always there. I'm like a leader, they call it. I'm there for anybody that wants to talk, anybody that wants to work over like ideas that they have. Do you think this is too much? Well, do you think it's too much? Why don't you pull back and try it halfway, see how that works, and then let's see, because the thing about working in an extreme haunt, you have to hire the right people. Yes. And even though you like it, it's not always good fit.
Yeah.
Because to work in extreme haunt, there's another level on it or another layer. And people find this hard to believe, but it's compassion and it's understanding.
Empathy.
And empathy, right. I want to take my victim and guest, and I want to bring them to the next level. Yeah. And I want to bring them with me. But if they're not there and they're not okay, I got to let them go.
Yeah.
I'm not hurting people. I don't want to hurt people, but I want them to come with me on an adventure and come with me on this journey. And let's see where you can go. And let's do it together. Let's get right up to that edge and look over the edge, and you're going to see the drop and you're going to see it. But that's what you're going to do. I'm not going to drop you. I don't want you hurt. I want you leaving going, I can't believe I did that, but boy, I can't wait to do it again.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's a really good way to put it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
So I think we might have time for one question each.
One more question. We've been talking for so long.
I know. I was looking at the
that.
time. I was like, we know you're on a timeline, and we don't want to keep you
but
too
I
much.
knew this was going to happen, because you guys are haunters, and it's like, this is how I talk to everybody.
We could just go on and just like probably
just
talk
go
all
on
day.
and on
For
and on
hours
and keep
and
talking
hours
about
and hours.
haunting and hunting. I can come back and talk to you guys anytime you want. You guys are totally cool.
Oh, we'll bring you back. We'll bring you
Anytime,
back.
Shar. Anytime.
Anytime you want. I just love, I love haunting. And growing up, it wasn't like you can go to your neighbor down the block and say, hey, isn't haunting cool?
Yeah.
Or isn't scary things cool? And then like going on like into the 80s even, there wasn't like a lot of people, but there was like small groups of people, and they were usually guys. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like the girl,
Right.
and then like somebody would bring their girlfriend,
Right.
or two girlfriends, or maybe there'd be one other who's in theater and they're trying to expand, whatever. But being a haunter and loving horror and looking for the scream and trying to bring this kind of thing, up. And when I was doing it, when I was starting the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, I never understood like that this is an industry growing around me. It was just, it was this cool thing to do. But I literally grew up with this industry. And now, because of the internet, I could talk to people. I could just put haunting in it. I could find people close by, far away, who love the same thing. And that's that's so awesome. And again, seeing females do it, that just gets me nuts. I love that, because after years and years of being the girl at the haunt, it's just awesome to see. I think at this point, I don't know if you guys think the same. Is it 50-50, or is it more women doing it than men? Or
Well, where we used to work, there was a lot of women.
A lot. I'd say maybe even tipping a little bit more on the scales of women majority.
Mm-hmm.
like maybe 55-60%.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
I think it has flipped, and it's like, I don't know why that is, but I guess more women are more
empowered too,
yes.
to like actually get into their passions and not feel shamed about
exactly.
it.
Exactly. When I was growing up, there was still this phrase in the vocabulary. Well, that's not really something for a girl.
Yes.
Girls don't do that. That was a thing that people have said to me. It's like, I don't get that. Like, you can't be a firefighter. Girls don't do that. You can't go in the military. Girls don't do that. Girls can't do that.
Yeah.
Now,
so why?
Why not?
Because, we're girls.
Exactly.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's actually kind of funny that you mentioned that, because I transitioned from like a lot of my early acting from being like, I did a lot of independent horror movies. And I transitioned from like the victim, always literally, I was the female Sean Bean of movies. Like I would die in every single movie. And all of a sudden it kind of started transition to like, I got to be like the killer, and I got to start doing and taking over the power. And I was like,
cool.
I kind of love how that's now like flipping and changing. And I was
Yeah.
like, this is so cool. I got to keep going.
Changing, but not changing enough.
No,
There
very true.
are, except for the grunge and Bride of Frankenstein, you tell me another female forward horror movie. Come on. We can name hundreds of horror killers and monsters, and they're male.
Yeah. Well,
Sometimes you get neutral ones, but
one I really like that's kind of new. There's 2 movies out now. It's called The Babysitter.
Oh, yes.
It's on
I've seen this one.
Netflix.
Okay,
and
I'm
it's like a there's 2 of them. The first one, I don't want to spoil any of it. It's a comedy horror, like action, really well done. But yeah, so The Babysitter and then The Babysitter 2, something like that. Check it out. Let me know what you think.
I will. I definitely will. But is it a character that can translate into a haunt?
I think it could, depending on the way you look at it, because it's
think
got
so.
more of a supernatural force to it as well. So
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I guess with magic. So the haunt that I work at 17 is a female story. So 17 is an extreme haunt and a theatrical haunt blended.
Ooh,
so we have a
amazing.
storyline that's been going on for 7 years, and we're following this girl, Paula.
yeah.
She starts off by going to school, and she's in prison now. Well, you kill your baby, that's what happens.
Yes.
So, like I was saying, there's some pretty rough themes in this haunt.
Of
so you have
course,
to be, you have to be aware you're okay with it. But I'm hoping next year to come. I started the haunt in the first room as the teacher, and I'm hoping to be the teacher again next year, which would be 7 years later. So I'm really hoping to do that. But if not, who knows what is next?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You never know.
Endless. All right.
Isn't it?
So I have a question for you. With like Haunters, Art of the Scare out for a few years now, and the kind of like, honestly, I would say global recognition that you have now received in the haunting world and community.
Yep.
How does it feel to be like the matriarch of haunting?
I'll tell you what, sometimes it's amazing.
Yeah.
And it's for this main reason, is to get to talk to women like yourself and to connect with you guys and to understand we're on the same track, to talk to other people all over the world, mostly in the United States, but I do talk to people all over the world. And to know we're all looking at this the same way and making that connection and finding fans who turn into friends.
Right.
That is like the really amazing thing. But also I have my anonymity because I just go outside and I go to the mall. I don't go to the mall. I don't know why I picked that. But hello. I go somewhere, we can go to a movie or something. Generally, it's fine. Yeah. When Haunters first came out, people were meeting me like I was in Veggie Grill, and the girl serving me was like, "Wait a minute!" I was like, "What?" And my husband's with me. Jerry goes, "Oh, she knows you from the film." She's like, "That's it. You were in that haunting movie." Yeah, I was. Oh my God! And then she comes out. We're taking pictures, which is cool.
Yeah.
But in general, I have my anonymity, and when I'm doing like different things like that, like some of my other hobbies and things that I like I went to Hamilton. No one knows me at Hamilton. I'm fine. I could be there with my mask on, singing, talking to the person next to me, just fitting right in, not having that thing. But when I go to a haunt convention, it is there, and I meet people, and I know they want to talk to me, they want to take pictures with me. I want to hear about their haunting. Yeah. I want to hear what they're doing and what things they're thinking about. So, if they want to talk to me, I am, like you see how I'm really easy to talk to. But I want a two-way thing. I don't want I loved you in consciously. Thank you. But what are you doing? I want to know about you, and I want to know. I want you to share and you to be open and you to share your feelings with other haunters. One of the problems we had, as we were coming up to this stage, when people were haunting, they were very secretive. No one's going to learn how I make my gloves because they make clicking noises. I'm going to keep that, and I'm not sharing.
Right. Yeah.
And I got this other thing, and I'm going to no one's going to know. The worst thing. You want to share. You want everyone to know everything. You figured something out. Give it out. Let everybody do it. Because somebody's going to come up with something even better. Yeah. And it brings our whole industry up. My friends from Germany, they came out here. I met them online from Haunters. They came out here. I hooked them up with another friend who's a slider. They wanted to learn how to slide. Yep. They brought it back to Germany. He was sliding one year. The next year, he has a crew. Now sliding is in Germany. Yes, now it's in England. So cool. Now it's in, cool. And it's just the idea of sharing. Mm-hmm. And people that I know, haunters that I hang out with, they're all good. They all have the same attitude. Like, we're all doing this together. Let's bring everyone up. It wasn't always like that. Yeah. It was really closed in. Right. But nowadays, those kind of guys are gone or moved on to whatever else. And now I find more people like you guys who are sharing your thoughts and sharing your feelings about haunting, talking about the right ways and the wrong ways. And we all do make mistakes. Yeah. Let's talk about it, figure out what we can do to get better, and all move forward together. And kudos and thank you guys for doing that.
Oh, gosh. Man, it's one of those things where I just want to be able to have a community and to be able to build people up so that we can make our stuff better. Like, there's no reason why we can't build a base, a solid foundation for everybody. And like that base is already there. It's just a matter of all of us learning from each other, learning from our mistakes, and someone over there being like, hey, I made this mistake. How can I fix it? Well, here, I've made that mistake before. Here's how we can do this. Yeah, like there's no reason to not share and to give feedback and to just love the thing, right? Like
I love random analogies, and one of the ones that I love is like, it's like we're all going to the neighborhood like barbecue. Mm-hmm. Everyone's gonna bring like a dish. They're gonna bring a treat, a drink, a fun activity. Like someone's you can't show up empty-handed to the barbecue. So it's like, and it's not like you're getting it just for yourself. You're not bringing that like potato salad just for yourself. You're bringing it so everyone can share, and then you can have what everyone else has brought as well. So it's like it's a family event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great way of looking at it. I never heard that analogy. That's really, really perfect.
I love really random analogies, so I will give you more when I have them.
Yeah. But it's true. Sorry.
No, I was going to say, I love that. The things that I don't like is I don't like when an experienced haunter is bullying somebody that's just starting. I can't stand that. And it happens. Mm-hmm. We got to get better. That's one of the things that I want haunters to think about, how you're feeling and how you're treating somebody new. Yeah. I work very hard on that, on getting like a unity thing. And I start off by saying, I'm doing this longer than all of you guys or all these guys. Don't have an ego. It doesn't help us. It doesn't help you as a performer. It doesn't help the new guys coming in. Don't have an ego. Let's all work together. Let's bring those new people in and let's get them to where they're just as good as us. Yeah. And then they'll do something amazing and we'll learn from them.
Yeah,
let's all work together and see what new things. Exactly. Haunting has changed so much since I started, like so much. Where can it go next?
Yeah,
I
love that.
Next? Who's coming up with the next cool idea? It's probably not me. I'm pretty sure it's not me.
You never know.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's not me. But maybe it's you guys. Maybe it's your friend that asked that question. Maybe it's the guy I was talking to this morning who was stuck on something, and I hope I helped him. But yeah, let's like break down that barriers. If you're a haunter, you're a haunter. Come together and be joyful about haunting. Get your scares. Separate your haunt life from your social life and your professional life or whatever you're doing, because you have to make everything is balanced. You have to make a balance on everything. Mm-hmm. Don't, when you're not haunting, you got to do other things. Sure, you can work on creating better haunt things, but you also got to do other things and be diverse and be open to new ideas. Like I always say, I was telling you, I get a lot of new ideas when I go to museums. I don't know how many other haunters do that, but I always encourage people to, listen to different music. Let music inspire you. Sometimes just listening to some new music that you never heard before gets your creative juices flowing. Mm-hmm. When you have that moment where something is going right in a show or a haunt, it is magic. It really is magic because we feel it performing. And then the guest or the victims, whichever way you want to look at it. But we're all together, we're feeling and seeing this magical thing happen. Mm-hmm. And it's an awesome thing to be a part of it. And I think that's live theater, Anything you do in live theater, when it works, it's like it works.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, dang. I think that might be a good place for us to end there, Shar. Don't want to keep you too long.
No, yeah, we know you have to get ready for your next
adventures.
For the zombie ballet. I'll get my zombie ballet.
That's so freaking cool.
I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter, but I don't like doing Twitter.
I don't tweet, or as my dad would say, he doesn't twat. I'm like, that's a little weird to say, Dad, but okay.
So my handles on Facebook and on Instagram are Shar Mayer, SharMayer. That's my name. And awesome. Then my website I know it's another hard one. SharMayer.com. So it's always my name. Shar
So
Mayer.
difficult.
Shar Mayer.
Easy, you know. And anybody that wants to, you know, talk haunt or get in touch with me, have a question, want to send me a picture of them, makeup, picture of them haunting. I love that. Yeah, hit me up. And you have a question or you want advice or you want, you know, you want to just show me what you got. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And I want to thank you guys again, you know, for doing this and for sharing positive thoughts about what we do and encouraging more people to follow this same kind of thing about sharing and being positive, looking at haunting not as a not the negative things, but focusing on the positive. So thank you guys.
Well, thank you
Shar,
for like trailblazing that so that we can do the platform that we now have, honestly. Yeah.
You're incredible.
You're amazing.
Thank you so much for speaking with us today.
Oh, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And we'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.
Well, shit, that was awesome.
Dang. I'm speechless.
I feel like I'm so sorry, Courtney. I feel like I found a new best friend.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, you can still come with us to the wrestling shows, but like, she's my date now.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm okay. Like, if I have to lose you to anybody as like a best friend, Shar's,
She's the only one you'd lose me to.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Just so
like,
you
that's
know.
it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But she's like incredible. I'm speechless. Like, damn.
Like, I feel so honored that we got to have this time with her.
Yes.
And we could have just kept going and, you know, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, not maybe. We definitely will be bringing her back for another one.
Absolutely. And I hope she ended up going to a zombie ballet after
with John.
she spoke with us. And so I hope she had a great time.
I hope so too. I hope that she had a blast and it was full and gory and beautiful and elegant all at once.
All at once.
All right. Well, I think that's it for this week's episode. So I guess this is bye for now.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, guys.
And we'll see you next time on
Just Haunted House Things.
Things.